Welcome to the Arsenic Theory channel. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and put some likes and comments, if you want me to continue doing these videos. And if you have any suggestions for other topics, feel free to do that. Just drop down below in the comments, what other topics you want me to explore, and, I will take a look at them. So today, what I wanted to discuss is, conspiracy theories. Something that has been, I think, more apparent now on the news. It has, I think, entered also mainstream because, Joe Rogan is talking about it. Many other prominent people are discussing, a variety of different conspiracy theories. And there is a variety. There is myriad of them, especially on the internet. One can find anything from chupacabras, living among us, to, we are going to be uplifted, into some other planet, whatever you have. Eventually, I will discuss with you, the psychology behind the conspiracy theories, because even, Cass Sunstein wrote a book on conspiracy theories, and other prominent people in administration, in the scientific community, have been exploring that subject as far as, why people are inclined to believe in those things, in conspiracies. So I have been studying, that particular subject as well for a long time. And one conclusion I had come to, besides the psychological point, of course, is that, there is lack of information, generally speaking, right? So when you turn on the mainstream media, like, CNN, Fox News, what have you, you're not really presented with any kind of analytics, with any kind of analysis as far as, what is going on in the world. You are, almost every day you are bombarded with trivial news, such as, somebody got killed, some puppy got adopted, or some other cute little story about some fuzzy, white fuzzy buzzy, bunny or whatever it is, and it's something that, doesn't really give you a perspective of how the world works and, what it's all about. And, every human being asks themselves those questions. What the heck is going on around me? And how do I make sense of it? Because there is all sorts of things going on around the world, right? And I want to understand them, but I don't have any time. And when I turn on the TV, or when I turn on any kind of mainstream channels, nobody's really giving me analysis, right? So therefore, if I want to kind of dig deeper and still want to understand how the world works, what it's all about, I'm probably going to fall in one of those million traps that are around there, of someone who, gives you that construct, that finished product, and says, hey, I have I know how the world works, and here is the system through which you can analyze how, pieces of puzzle fit together into one holistic picture. And that's what conspiracy theories do. They do provide you that system of thought, that whole picture through which you can understand the world. It is sad. And the reason I say it is sad is because information is available. Even on mainstream platforms such as YouTube, one can go and search for different conferences and different seminars and different speeches given by professors of a variety of institutions. Just to give you a very quick example, Stephen Kotkin. He is, one of the professors in Stanford University. Recently, he had published a book on Stalin. His findings, because he was given access to a Soviet, or this time Russian archive of secret documents, and he was basically went to Russia in Moscow, and was conducting research. He was reading all these documents, trying to figure out the life and the life and the politics of Stalin, kind of like what his childhood was all about, what were his school years, how the teachers perceived him, what kind of relationships he had with his classmates. He went into that, and he wrote a book about it, a 3-volume, I believe, work on Stalin. Fantastic work. Obviously you don't have to pick up this 3-volume magnum opus, but what you can do is go on YouTube and search for this guy Stefan Kotkin and listen to his lectures. That will provide you a fantastic glimpse into what Russia is all about, what was Soviet Union all about, what were those Stalin years, and how did Russian people survive through that, right? You will read about the purges of the 1937 to 39 that happened in Russia, where the political elite of that time was annihilated, killed, right? You will read about the collectivization and the starvation of Ukrainian and Russian peasantry. You will read about that, okay? But let's kind of go back home, so to speak, right, to the US, to the United States. There is lack of information. There is no doubt about that in the mainstream media, right? So if you turn on, like I said, CNN or Fox, nobody really gives you an analysis. People just give you opinions, not really facts, right? And all those experts, they're just trying to impress each other, and the anchor is trying to, invite somebody controversial and have one expert go after another, and he says yes and the other expert says no, and they're battling for this 45 minutes and nobody really gives you an analysis. Both of them are just fighting to express their opinion and frankly just to justify their paycheck that they are being paid for by CNN or some other institution that they are portraying. So lack of information. What can you do to avoid falling into those traps? Well, first of all, you can start reading. You can start, listening to, the lectures. I know it sounds kind of boring, but at the same, and it's, oh no, I don't have any time, or I find it exceedingly boring. Well, find the topics that you like and kind of figure out. And for those that say, oh, I don't have time to do all this research, to, listen to these professors talking and read all these, heavy kind of books, here's what I tell you. You have enough time to research all those football scores and play all this fantasy football and know all the players in the book and which one is going to have a better strategy than the other and which should be drafted and who should be picked. So you do have the energy and the mental and intellectual capacity to do so. So why don't you just use that in some other realms, such as understanding and informing yourself of how the economy works, what the world is all about, maybe even some history, some literatures, and etc., right? You have the capacity, you have the intellectual know-how to do that. I know you do. Quick example. I have been subscribing to the Foreign Affairs magazine. For those of you that don't know, it's an official periodical published by the Council on Foreign Relations, which is a premier think tank in the United States. Many of the policies that are, being implemented in the White House on Capitol Hill have been formulated and, drafted inside the Council on Foreign Relations. All those prescriptions that you will read there eventually get implemented one way or the other. So if you want to understand how the world works, don't fall into the trap of some kind of conspiracy theories. Instead, educate yourself. Be eager to learn and understand and gain that knowledge if you're so eager. And if you don't do that, it's on you, buddy. It's all on you. No one is going to give you anything on a silver platter. Therefore, it is up to you to learn more, find out more, and who knows, maybe create your own theory, right? But in any case, The information is out there. Don't just seek information to justify your belief system. There is no need to do that. Instead, be open-minded. And when the new information comes in, don't be afraid to change your opinions, your system of thought. Don't be afraid of that, because the new information comes into us all the time. And it is up to us to be adaptable. And it is up to us to be adaptable to that new information and develop our intellect and be better at anything we do, and also at how we think and look at the world. So more to come about the conspiracy theories, but I just wanted to give you my tidbit, kind of a teaser, before I delve into it in a more detailed fashion. So thank you again for listening. Don't forget to subscribe, put the like button, and I'll see you next time on the Arsenic Theory channel.